welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the earnings for Twitter. Can Twitter woes please go away? Elon Musk, the Tesla CEO, acquired Twitter. A day after that, the earnings came out and the earnings was, poor. Let me use that word, poor. However, you also need to know that Twitter has a debt of about about 5.2 million. Not significant for Elon Musk anyway, but the revenue is 1.20 billion. The estimate is 1.23 billion, so it missed that. The EPS is 0.90, while the estimate is 0.03. So really, the key thing is for a growth of Twitter. A lot of people are actually leaving Twitter. Subscribers are leaving Twitter, but now that it is in the hand of Elon Musk, whether he's going to, I think I read somewhere that he might actually lay off staffs and all that. Maybe he will change the CEO. It will, it might be some changes there. I mean, Twitter is going private. That's what he says, and he says it's all about freedom of speech. Anyway, we are looking at Twitter finances and technical details. Have a look at the earnings in details. Let's dissect it line by line, and we have a look at the technical chart for price action. Let's see what we can get from it, what direction we can get from the technical chart. Let's have a look. And transcript for Twitter first quarter 2022 earnings, and it goes by first quarter 2022 operational and financial highlight, except as otherwise stated. All financial results discussed below are presented in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principle in the United States of America, or GAAP, which is GAAP. As supplemental information, we have provided certain non-GAAP financial measures in the press release. Supplemental tables, and such supplemental tables include a reconciliation of these non-GAAP measures to our GAAP result. The sum of individual metrics may not always equal total amount indicated due to rounding. Now, Q1 revenue totaled 1.20 billion, an increase of 16% year over year, or 19% on a constant currency basis, reflecting headwinds associated with the war in Ukraine. When excluding mobile publishing, users, MOP is actually used to for Twitter platform. Year over year growth was 22%. Advertising revenue totaled 1.11 billion, an increase of 23% or 26% on a constant currency basis. Subscription, here is the key. Subscription and other revenue totaled 94 million, a decrease of 31% year over year, a decrease of 5% year over year when excluding mop-up, from the year ago. Now, when you hear that people are leaving Twitter, subscription and all that, this is it. This is the confirmation of it. Yes. Cost and expenses total 1.33 billion, on an increase of 35% year over year. It resulted in an operating loss of 128 million, negative 11% operating margin, compared to an operating income of 52 million, or 5% operating margin in the same period of the previous year. Last year was better than this year. Stock-based compensation. Now let's move on to the financials. Here, net cash provided operating activity in the quarter was 126 million, compared to the 390 million in the same period of last year. You see, average monetizable daily user, monetizable MDAU, monetizable daily user, was 229.0 million for Q1, up 15.9% compared to Q1 of the previous year. Prior year, okay. Yeah. Daily user monetizable. This is not really our own
We want to see the financial. Okay, here is another detail you need to look out for, as confirmed here. As announced on April 25th, 2022, we entered into a definite agreement to be acquired by an entity wholly owned by Elon Musk for $54.20 per share in cash. Upon completion of the transaction, Twitter will become a privately held company. The transaction is subject to customary closing conditions and completion of regulatory review and Twitter stockholder approval. The transaction, which is expected to close in 2022, has been approved by Board of Directors of Twitter. First quarter 2022 webcast and conference call details. We don't need all this. We need the financials, the figures. The figures is what we need. We are shareholders. We only want to make money. And make sure the business is run very well. Condensed consolidated balance sheet. This is compared from the December 31st and end of March. Cash and cash equivalent, what you can begin to see that there's slightly an increase in that. Liabilities, total assets, liabilities and stockholder equity. Here is another detail we're interested in. Total liability, it's in, is it million or thousand? I think it's thousand. It's in thousands. So you see, Twitter is not that really buoyant like many other companies you see. This is total liabilities, as you can see, is in thousands. So this is 7,000. So it's not really, but that's for this quarter. I mean, for the last quarter that ended. Accumulated deficit, total liability and stockholder equity. See, it's not really not significant because it's in thousand. Here, also in thousand, condensed consolidated statement of income, revenue. Part of what people are saying is Twitter need to find a way to actually monetize itself, to actually make money, to generate revenue, so they can grow like other platforms like Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, and all that. So now that Elon Musk is even taking it privately, we'll see what he will do with it. But then, cost of revenue slightly higher, sales and marketing slightly higher, general administrative. Yeah, these are different expenses, daily and all that, revenue. Here is the statement of cash flow. This is key. We want to be sure that they are liquid. You see, cash flow 2022, 2021. You can see cash flow from operating. Let's have a look at this again. Is it thousands or million? Thousands, in thousands. So you can see net cash flow 513,000 compared to 2021. Um, Cash flow from investing activity. Uh, let's see if you can see the cash and cash equivalent, total cash and cash equivalent, and restricted cash at the end of it. I think I'm richer than them anyway. Yeah, Twitter, it is not impressive. The balance sheet. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the last quarter, it's not really impressive for a platform like Twitter. You see, the figures are too, adjusted free cash flow negative. So Twitter is not really, it's not impressive. Let's go on to the technical detail. Let's see what we can get from price. Here is the technical details for Twitter. Twitter currently the price is $49 one 40, and today is actually the 3rd of May 2022. I started recording this video about 3 or 4 days ago, so I'm just doing this part in case you see any discrepancies in the price of Twitter. As you can see, I really don't like when there's a gap up, because one way or the other, there will be a gap down, whether soon or later. And there's a gap up here on Twitter. I have Twitter in my account. Anyway, Twitter is trading above 50-day and 20-day moving average. 20-day moving average is actually still here as support for Twitter. However, it's below 200-day moving average. And so far, so good. Twitter is on a bullish move. That's what we can see here. Is on a bullish move. There's a support on resistance here. Let's just draw this line here. So it's a resistance line on support. However, it's currently on that support on a daily chart, but this is a bullish trend. So Twitter is somewhat bullish. Let's have a look at it on a weekly chart. On a weekly chart, as you can see, the cap up is still here, but we are actually trading below 50-day moving average on a weekly chart, which is also above 20-day and 200-day moving average on a weekly chart. But the same resistance on support is here. In fact, it is significant on a weekly chart. Look at it. It has been there multiple times. The market is currently closed. We're after a pre-market already. It is likely that we will have a bullish move. The market is generally trending down. The S&P 500 is down for about 13%. Nasdaq almost 16%. So it's not a favorable environment. It's a risk of sentiment environment. But as you can see, there are some levels of resistance and support that we can identify here. So even when it moves higher, we would have to break this level of resistance. Let's go back on a daily chart. On a daily chart, the move here is an upward trend. It's upward trend, and it's a sign of a bullish move. So here we would expect it, to go higher from here, even though it has been bought over by Elon Musk, and I think it's at a price of $52 or so. If that once the deal is finalized, I think the price will be pegged at that, 52, maybe for a couple of hours or days, depending on how long the administrative work will be carried out. But then it's becoming a private platform, by the ownership of Elon Musk. He said it's for freedom.
Seeing the technical chart, we have seen the financials. Well, Twitter is going private according to Elon Musk, so it will be a private company. That's he now belongs to him. Whether we the shareholders will be refunded with a lot of money, well, currently the stock price is about, is it $49 or $50 thereabout. But hey, I have a Twitter in my portfolio. I want, whether I get a big money back or whatever, I'm okay with Elon Musk. I have Tesla. I think he's going to be a good owner. Anyway, thank you for watching this channel. Please, before I leave, make sure you do not add this stock to your portfolio without using your own metric for valuation. Check that it is good for your portfolio before you add it. Don't just add stock because you watch a YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Please call again.